Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Drogs. This is Fully Painted Miniatures. That's the name of my channel. But I'm doing a solo playthrough. I'm doing a series on Aeons End, 2nd edition. The back stuff right here. The base starter set. If you've been watching my videos so far, I've already gone through and defeated all 4 of the Nemesises in the base box using different heroes and randomizer cards that randomize my store of what gems, relics, and spells I get to use. So now that I've beaten all 4 of the Nemesises, I'm going to go back through them again, but this time on expert mode, which is using the increased difficulty rules on the Nemesis cards. So I'm going to start with Rageborne. He was originally a difficulty 2, so he's basically the easiest boss in the game, at least in the starter set. But under his additional rules, whenever he gains Fury tokens, basically, from his cards and when he unleashes, and whenever he has 4 Fury tokens, he gets an additional card from this strike deck here. It's basically a second attack that will do damage to either player or Grateful most of the time. In normal mode, whenever he strikes, whenever he gets 4 tokens, he strikes and then he loses 3. He has to wait till he gets back up to 4. In the increased difficulty mode, he only loses 1 token every time he strikes. So once he gets up to 4, he just kind of stays there and keeps giving you those extra hits. Yeah. Oh, I do shuffle that card back in there. Okay. I didn't realize that. I wasn't doing that last time, so I actually played that wrong. So Rageborne starts with 70 hit points. Gravehold starts with 30. I'm not playing with the extinction level rules, which would give him more life, Gravehold less life, and my players less life. If I go through and defeat all 4 Nemesises on expert mode, I then plan on adding in the expansion that I bought, which has a couple more Nemesises, a bunch of different spells and stuff. 1 more mage. And if I go, I'll probably go through that one on normal and then expert. And then at that point, I may go back through all of them on extinction level, because I think that would be fun. All right. So for mages, and the reason I'm using this point of view, my earlier videos were top down. You couldn't see me, and it felt a little bit more unnatural. I feel a little bit more comfortable this way, and I feel like people might enjoy watching it more this way, even though they can't really see the cards or the play area as well. I do read everything out as I go through, so you should still be able to follow along, even if you've never played the game before, for the most part. So I only have my camera or my phone as a camera, so I don't have the ability to do like a dual visual thing. I know some people have that where you can show themselves and show a top-down view. That would be great. If anyone knows how to do that, like what equipment I would need, leave me a comment or send me a message or something. I'm not very technical. But yeah, so anyway, we've been playing Rageborne on expert difficulty. My first mage is going to be Jeanne, right here. She is the Breach Mage Orphan. She starts with a Moonstone Shard, 2 crystals and 2 sparks. Crystals generate 1 power. Sparks are a spell that deals 1 damage. And a Moonstone Shard for her generates 1 power. Gain an additional power that can only be used to purchase a gem. Like many children of Gravehold, Jeanne was left an orphan, stricken silent by the very thing that took her father's life. Very cool. And then in her deck, she's going to have 3 crystals and 2 sparks. She also starts with 2 open breaches. Her 3rd breach is going to cost 9 to open, and her 4th is going to cost 10. And she has a special ability called Black Mirror. Activate during your main phase, so only during hers. Cast any player's prep spell without discarding it, and then cast that prep spell again. So basically you get a double cast on either player's prep spell. It's not nearly as overpowered as most of the other characters' special abilities, but this is the only special ability in this set or Eternal that only costs 4 charges. So it's a little bit easier to get. I didn't really use her very effectively so far, so I just wanted to give her another try. I also really like that she starts with 2 open breaches. That's a nice little plus. All right, and then our other mage, we're going to use Adelheim, the Breach Mage Weaponsmith. He's pretty cool. I like him. He's going to start with an Amethyst Shard, 2 crystals, and 2 sparks. And then his deck is going to contain 5 crystals. An Amethyst Shard gains 1 power. An ally may draw a card and then discard a card in hand. There is an irony to the weaponsmith that is best described as blunt. It's got a cool little picture of him on it. All right. I think that's pretty much... Oh, yeah, and his special power is Ethereal Ward. Activate during the Nemesis's draw phase. When a Nemesis attack or power card is drawn, but before it is resolved, you may discard it. It has no effect. Nemesis does not draw a replacement card. So it just allows me to cancel out one of his card draws for 5 charges, which is pretty cool. All right. So as always, I'm going to be playing with randomizer cards. I think it's a lot more fun this way, and it definitely forces me to use cards and combinations I would never use. And there's been a few times that, yeah, like I've been pleasantly surprised. The last game, Dark Fire, which is the spell card that you discard 2 cards to do 3 damage. I never really played that card, or 3 damage for each card you discard, so up to 3 or 6 damage. I never really used that, but then I kind of got a bunch early, just because of the way things shook out. And I was able to use that while discarding crystals and sparks, and I did a ton of damage really, really early. I was just lucky and able to get a bunch of 5 power turns in like the second round. All right, so we're going to start with crystals. Our first one is Sifter's Pearl. I'm going to go through all of them after. Our second card is Clouded Sapphire and Diamond Cluster. These are the exact same 3 gems I had last game, so that's kind of funny. That's why I'm laughing. It's a good combination. 3 cost, a 4 cost, and a 6 cost. So a low, mid, and a high. All right. Relics. Focusing Orb. I had that last game too. And Flexing Dagger. So that's nice. A 2 cost and 4 cost. I always like to have my costs spread out a little bit. It's just, if you have 2 4-cost relics, it's like, kind of what's the point? Or if your cheapest gem is a 4 cost, if you go 4, 5, and 6, that can make it really hard to get your economy going, even though those cards are really good. Same thing with spells. It's nice to have a 4-cost spell. Really nice. If they're all 5, 6, 7. 5's not bad. All right. First spell, Feral Lightning. Always like that one. Second spell, Consuming Void. I haven't had this one in a long time. So that was the other thing I was going to say. With the randomizers, there's a few cards, spell cards specifically, I have not seen yet. I have not gotten to play with. Wildfire Whip. It's a 6 cost. And Amplify Vision. So that worked out really well. I have 4, 5, 6, and 7 cost. So as far as the economy of that is concerned, that went really, really, really well. Okay. So let's get those cards out. Vision. Feral Lightning. Yeah, this was one of them. Spectral Echo. I don't know what that does. I haven't seen it yet. Essence Theft. I haven't seen that in a while. Consuming Void. I think I used this once, but I don't know if it was in one of the videos. Chaos Arc. One of the cool things about Chaos Arc, I actually really like, I don't know if you can see this, but the Chaos Arc and Amplify Vision spells, oh, maybe I don't. I thought they lined up. No, I guess not. Okay. Never mind. Strange. I could have sworn that the image, the artwork on those lined up. Wildfire Whip. And... okay, those are the 4 spells. So this also allows me to sit down. If I play with the top-down view, I have to stand the whole time, which is fine. It's not like I can't stand up, but it's a little easier, especially, I actually typically play multiple of these games in a row. I record them, just a few sessions in a row. Yeah, do the same thing. And it's just a little easier on me if I'm going to play 2 or 3 games to sit down. All right, let me get these randomizer cards out of here. And we'll go through what our haul was. Okay, first we have Sifter's Pearl. It is a 3-cost gem, generates 2 power. Each player reveals the top card of their deck and either discards it or returns it to the top of their deck. To those that have stepped through the breach, the pearl shows the splinters of time itself. Very cool. Then we have Diamond Cluster. It's a 4-cost. Generates 2 power as well. If this is the second time you've played Diamond Cluster this turn, gain an additional 2 power. These gems were once the most precious, the most scarce. Now they line the walls of caves like shimmering fangs. So this allows you to, if you have 2 in your hand, you're going to generate 6 power from those 2 crystals. Grab sapphires with it. And our 3rd gem card, Clouded Sapphire, my favorite. 6 cost, generates 3 power. If this is the first time you play Clouded Sapphire this turn, an ally gains 1 charge. You say if you look closely, the shadow of the world that was is imprisoned within. So these are great to have. If you have 2 diamond clusters and a sapphire in your hand, I mean, you're generating 9 power from those 3 cards, and you're giving your partner an extra charge. So that's just crazy awesome. Our first relic, we are using Flexing Dagger. The next time you focus or open a breach this turn, it costs 3 power less, or destroy this to deal 1 damage. It's okay right now. Oh, you can share your toys. She gets very jealous of the boy. He likes to chew what he likes to chew, and she gets upset. Even though she has 20 other toys, yeah, you both just want the same one all the time. So, costs 3 less power to focus or open a breach, or destroy this card to deal 1 damage. Forged from unstable void ore, this blade shifts with the will of its wielder. So it's not super powerful, but it only costs 2, so it's a good one to add on top of the purchase. Focusing Orb, which also allows you to focus a breach, but it allows you to pick any player's breach. And when you destroy this card, Gravehold can gain 3 life. Jan picked up the orb as if knowing its purpose. That was the last day she ever spoke. So very cool cards. These 2 obviously do basically the same thing. Although this one can be used to focus the The tier 4 breaches actually have a 4 cost. So Flexing Dagger struggles a little bit with those. It just discounts them. Next we have Amplify Vision as our first spell. It is 4 cost. Focus your closed breach with the lowest focus cost. So this is the third card that helps us focus breaches. It deals 2 damage. If all of your breaches are open, deal an additional 1 damage. It becomes a 3 damage spell. The breaches are merely a mirror through which worlds whisper. So I'm going to have a really easy time opening my breaches in this game. Which is a good thing. That means I should focus on spells. Also means this card is not quite as useful. Feral Lightning. It's a 5 cost, so I would not know, like, this is where the randomizer comes in. I wouldn't never probably purposely pick 3 cards to focus breaches. And if I did, I certainly wouldn't take them with Feral Lightning. This spell may be prepped to a closed breach without focusing it. It's 5 cost, it deals 3 damage. All things can be tamed. So I love this card, but the way I typically use that is I pick 1 mage and just say, I'm not going to open these breaches. I'm just going to leave them with like 2 open, and then have them grab all the Feral Lightnings, while the other player opens those 4. That's typically how I use that. Alright, next spell is Wildfire Whip. This is our 6 cost spell. While prepped during your main phase, you may spend 2 power to cast any player's prep spell. So this allows you to same turn cast effectively. Oh, that's cool. She's like whipping the Langoliers from the Stephen King movie. I didn't notice that before. They were an enemy from Prince of Gluttony. I got a kick out of that. But it deals 4 damage. It's a 4 damage spell. Sometimes a little motivation is needed for dire situations. So we have a 2 or 3 damage, a 3 damage, and a 4 damage spell. And then Consuming Void is our last card. It's a 7 cost. Destroy up to 2 cards in your hand. Oh, it's a card destruction one. I thought it was this one. Deal 3 damage for each card destroyed this way. The Far Hall Hovel still smolders from the last time a mage lost his wits and will to the void. Very cool. I've never used that one. So that is going to let me destroy my 9 starter cards, which I like. So each of them is definitely going to get one of those. If possible. I forgot the turn order deck. Sorry, they will quiet down. I apologize. 1, 2. Right? 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 pluses. Yeah. You behave. You behave. It's gonna be a while. I'm just starting out. Careful. Careful. Yeah. Yeah. Daddy's gonna play a game. No, don't bark at me. I know. Rolo, can you share your toys? Can you share? She's getting upset. Yeah. It's okay, little girl. No. Why don't you find another toy to chew on? Can you do that? Yeah, I know. I know. You're not happy about it. I know. They're sweethearts. Alright. Turn 2. Player 2. So that is Adelheim. So he starts with Amethyst Shard, 2 sparks. So he is going to spend 3 power to open his second breach. And he's going to prep both of his sparks. And then he draws 5 crystals for his next turn. And he goes again. He's going to fire off both of his sparks, dealing 2 damage to the Rageborne, bringing him down to 68. He's then going to generate 5 power. And he will buy a Sifter's Pearl and a Flexing Dagger. on his next turn, he's going to have Amethyst Shard, 2 crystals, 2 sparks. And then Jan gets to go. She's going to prep both of her sparks, and she can generate 3 power, 4 towards a gem, so she's going to buy a diamond cluster. And her next turn is going to be another 2 sparks and 3 crystals. But Nemesis' turn, and he pulls out a Banesire. This is a minion with 6 life. Rule persistent, unleash. So every turn he's going to unleash for the Rageborne, which gives him 1 Fury token. That's really bad for me in this situation. Best to kill these first is the description, and that is true. This thing, if it gets out of hand and you don't kill it early, it's a game ender. Hey, that's enough. That's too much. I'm gonna open up the door. Let you guys outside. Sorry about that. I thought they would calm down, so I just let them outside. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so that's kind of an unlucky draw because I already did my 2 damage. And there it goes again. Oh, and he starts with a Fury. Start with a Fury token? Let me see what the rules say. Yeah, he does start with a Fury token. So he starts with 1. And then now it's his turn again. So the Banesire generates a 2nd Fury token. And we draw a card. Unrelenting Ire, unleash. He gains another Fury token, already up to 3. If there are 2 Nemesis turn order cards in the turn order discard pile, there are, unleash 2 additional times. Wow. Okay, so they're not messing around with the difficulty here. I reckon its head would look good on a post. So he is now at 5 Fury tokens, which means he's going to strike. First strike card, Raise. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Any player suffers 1 damage. So that brings Gravehold to 27. Gian, I don't have a way to heal in this game, I just realized. I usually like it. Hey, that's enough. No, we're not going to be howling. The fire spreads from the old barracks to the south wall in a moment, the ancient stone hissing and turning black as the beast strode through the city. All right, this is one of the few, and that. Hey, no, I'm recording here. You want to howl? Go outside. You want to howl? Go outside. They're crazy. All right. So, because of the new special rule, he only removed 1 Fury token. So now he strikes again. And we get Devastate. Gravehold suffers 5 damage, bringing me down to 22. Anger is born in fire. And that brings the Rageborne down to 3 Fury tokens. So 8 damage to Gravehold on the first round of the game. Holy crap. I thought it wasn't going to be that big of a deal for just that 1 increase rule, because Rageborne was pretty easy. But, yeah. Not going so hot. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Inside. Inside. I want you out there to calm down, not to get more worked up. Yeah. Come on, let me get you guys a treat. And then you need to calm down, alright? Here you go. So sorry about that, guys. they're still getting used to me recording videos and all that stuff. All right, so it is the last activation for the first round. It's Jan. She's gonna cast 2 sparks, do 2 damage to the Banesire, bringing him down to 4 life. She's then gonna prep 2 sparks, and then fly off Sifter's Pearl. Hold on 1 second. What is going on? Oh. What was this? All right, and we're back. You were good puppies. That was actually my bad, guys. There was a strange lady, like parked right up front of my house. I think she was taking my She was like going through my garbage. I just saw her closing up her trunk and leaving, but I don't have anything out there except garbage. There's some old like metal wire that I pulled out from my yard, from an old fence. So I don't really know what that was all about. But yeah, dogs are being good. They were letting me know. So anyway, let me just double check and make sure I'm recording. That I did that right. Okay. Yeah, just bear with me. I am not, like I said, very technically savvy. I also only have a phone to do this with. I don't have any sort of video editing software or anything like that. Yeah. So please bear with me. My videos will get better over time. My dogs will get better behaved over time. They're still getting used to me doing this. That was actually, they were sounding the alarm and letting me know there was a strange lady walking around right in front of my house. My whole yard's fenced and locked, so I'm not worried about that. But it's strange why she was going through my trash. I don't really know what that was all about. Anyway, all right, round 1. I got my butt kicked. Not looking good. We'll see. All right, first activation is going to go to Adelheim. He is going to prep 2 sparks. So I now have 4 sparks prepped. If I get lucky, I can kill that Banesire before his next activation. And then he can generate 3 power. And he will buy a Sifter's Pearl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And his next turn, he's going to have 3 crystals, Flexing Dagger, and a Sifter's Pearl. Nemesis goes first, though. So Banesire is going to unleash, which generates a Fury token. And then we're going to draw a card. Cleave, Rageborne strikes. Thraxir was a breach commander for as long as most could remember. To honor him, to this very day, no man or woman has ever been elected to the post of this day. Huh. Interesting. So if I'm reading these rules correctly, when Rageborne strikes, it says draw a card from the strike deck, resolve it, shuffle it back into the strike deck, and then lose the Fury tokens. So because I got that on a card, he's going to strike, but then he's going to lose the Fury token. He actually doesn't strike twice. So, interesting. Yeah. Seize. The player collectively discards the 2 most expensive prep spells. That's annoying. So they each are just going to discard 1 spark. How this cave has not long ago collapsed is a wonder and a mercy. So because he strikes, he loses a Fury token. And now he's back down to 3. He does not have 4, so he doesn't strike again. But he does get to go again. Gains another Unleash token through the Banesire. Draws another card. Woven Sky. To discard 3 cards in hand. Power 2. Unleash. Any player suffers 3 damage. Okay. That's not good. I'm going to have Adelheim discard 3 crystals to just get rid of it right away. Alright. Next, Jan's going to go. She's going to cast Spark, do 1 damage to the Banesire, bringing him down to 3. She's going to prep her Spark, and then she's going to generate 5 power, 2, 5, 6 towards a gem. So she's going to... she's actually going to buy a Diamond Cluster and a Flexing Dagger. That's what she's going to do. So I'm going to try to get those 2 diamonds in the same hand. Come up. All right. Oh, and her next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, this has not been going so smooth, but they're going to be calm now. 3 crystals, a Sifter's Pearl, and a Spark for her next hand. But Adelheim goes next. He has 2 cards. Flexing Dagger, he will use to focus his 3rd breach. Bring it from 9 to 7 cost. And Sifter's Pearl gains 2 power, which he will use to buy a Flexing Dagger. And he may reveal, each player may reveal their top card and choose to discard it. And he will discard his. She's going to keep the Spark. And then it is Jan's turn. She's going to cast Spark, deal 1 damage, bring the Banesire down to 2. And she's going to prep a Spark. She then generates 5 power. So I don't really like the Feral Lightning. I really want something else in that 5 cost slot. So I'll buy Sifter's Pearl and Flexing Dagger. So she's going to have 2 diamonds, Flexing Dagger, and 2 sparks on her next turn. So this is going to depend a lot on the turn order card for this next upcoming round. Why does he have 4 figure tokens? Oh, he was supposed to strike. Shit. Okay, I'm going to do it now. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Any player suffers 1 damage. So that brings Gravehold down to 19. And Jan's going to take the damage. Bringing her down to 8. Sorry I missed that, guys. Not my smoothest start. But it'll be alright. Alright, Jan's going first. She's going to cast Spark, do 1 damage to the Banesire, leaving him with 1. She's going to prep 2 sparks. She's going to cast Flexing Dagger to focus her 3rd breach. And then she gets 2 diamond clusters, which is going to generate 6 power. Do I want Wildfire Whip or Clouded Sapphire? I'm going to take Clouded Sapphire. I think it's so important to get an economy going. Can't early. That said, I'm about to hit tier 2 cards, and I have neither of them has taken a single spell yet. So probably going to be regretting that. Next turn, she has a Spark, Sifter's Pearl, Moonstone Shard, and 2 crystals. Nice. So Adelheim goes next. He's going to cast a Spark, do 1 damage to the Banesire, killing it. All right. So that takes away a huge threat. 2, 3, 4. I forgot to pull this card. Okay, so he has Sifter's Pearl, 3 crystals, and Amethyst Shard. So that's worth 6 power. He's also going to take Cloud Sapphire. And they may each reveal. Flexing there, he will discard the Spark. Oh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then his next turn, 2 Flexing Daggers, 3 crystals. Okay. And he goes again. So he's going to focus his 3rd breach twice with the Flexing Daggers. And then with the 3 power, he's going to buy Sifter's Pearl. This next turn, he's going to start with Clouded Sapphire, Sifter's Pearl, 2 crystals, and a Spark. So I think I'm good on crystals for a while, but then I need to start really honing in on spells and maybe getting some focusing orbs just to help me out with life. But first Nemesis is going to go. There's nothing on the board. So his draw is Bleed Static, power 3. The player with the most prep spells suffers 2 damage for each of their prep spells. There are no words to describe the sound of a breach opening, only screams echoing on the cave walls after. He's at 3 fairy tokens, so he does not strike. But he goes again. Remove a power token from Bleed Static and draw a card. We get a minion, Provoker. 5 life. Persistent. Gravehold suffers damage equal to the number of Fury tokens Rageborne has. I nearly wasted a freshly forged chopper on one of these things. 5 life. Not nearly as bad as the Banesar. Alright. And 1. Jan. She's going to cast both Sparks. Hit that Provoker. Bring him down to 3 life. She's then going to prep a Spark, and she's going to generate 5 power, 6 towards a gem. Damn. I'll get another Clouded Sapphire. It's the only reason I'm okay with doing that. His Clouded Sapphire generates charges. So he's got 1. She's got 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the only way I have to generate charges through my store. Next turn, Flexing Dagger, Sifter's Pearl, 3 crystals. But I do have to figure something else out. I seem to be hitting that 5 power every single turn. And I don't want to take Feral Lightning because I have so many ways to open my breaches. It just kind of seems like a waste or an inefficient point cost. And the autistic side of me just like struggles with that. And then she generated 5 power or 6 for a gem, so that, I mean, I guess I could have taken 2 Sifter's Pearls instead of Cloud Sapphire, but yeah. It's funny how that works. All right. We're going to go with Adelheim. So he's going to prep his Spark. He has Clouded Sapphire, Sifter's Pearl, and 2 crystals. That's going to generate 7 power. Nice. 2, 4, 7. He's going to buy Consuming Void. He also generates 1 charge for Gian. And Sifter's Pearl lets them both reveal their next card and decide if they want to discard. He's not going to do that with either one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His next hand, 2 crystals, Sifter's Pearl, Spark, and Amethyst Shard. Jan's going to go first. She's going to cast Spark, bringing Provoker down to 2 life. She's then going to use her Flexing Dagger to focus her 3rd breach. And she then is going to generate 5 power. Shocker. And she's going to buy a Feral Light. Because I need some form of damage. 1, 2. So 2 Diamond Clusters, Cloud Sapphire, Flexing Dagger, and a Spark. So that will be a nice turn. And she gets to go again. She's going to prep her Spark. She's going to use her Flexing Dagger to focus her 3rd breach. And then this is going to generate 2, 6, 9 power. And also generate a charge for Adelheim. So with 9 power, she's going to buy 2 Amplify Visions. For 8 power. She wastes 1. And her next turn is going to have 2 Sparks, Clouded Sapphire, Sifter's Pearl, and a Moonstone Shard. Adelheim goes next. That means the last 2 are both going to be Rageborne. He's going to cast that Spark, deal 1 damage to the Provoker. And he's going to prep Spark, and he's going to generate 5 power. Each player may look at their top card and discard. She's going to discard that crystal. 5 power, yeah. Feral Light. They're going to open their breaches, but they're not open yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 Flexing Daggers, Sifter's Pearl, and Crystal. Alright. Nemesis card. So first the Provoker activates. Gravehold suffers damage equal to the number of Fury tokens from the Rageborne. That is 3. That is going to bring Gravehold down to 16 life. We also remove a token from Bleed Static. And we draw a card. Unleash twice and Awaken. Unleash twice and Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Or place the most recently discarded minion card in the Nemesis pile back in play. I usually do that. I don't think I'm going to this time. They were always just outside the edge of our knowing that, well, unleash twice. Yeah, I mean, unleash twice and 3 damage, or get a guy out that allows him to unleash again. So I'll take my chances with the Banesire, I guess. Man, that's unfortunate though, because he does go again. So first we're going to do 3 damage again to Gravehold. Then Rageborne gains a Fury token, and then he draws. Blood Cry. To discard, lose 4 charges. Power 2. Unleash 4 times. The cave walls crumble and quake below. Now that's a power 2. I think I removed the Bleed Static, right? I don't remember. I can just activate it now, that's fine. I'm just going to have him take 2 damage from the Bleed Static. Player with the most prep spells suffers 2 damage for each of their prep spells. They each have 1, so I'm going to choose that one. And there's 4 cards, so he gets a strike. Raise. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Any player suffers 1 damage. So that brings Greyfold down to 10 life. Adelheim's going to take the 1 damage. Okay. So not perfect. The good news is I can buy Focusing Orbs. I believe there's 5 of them, and they can just restore life to Greyfold. But we're in tier 2 cards. So I got beat up like that just with tier 1. Just with tier 1 cards. And there's 2 minions and that powerful Blood Cry ability. So, wow. We'll see how this goes. Okay, thankfully, Jan goes first. She's going to use Spark to kill the Provoker, dealing 1 damage. So that helps. She's then going to prep 2 Sparks. And she's going to generate, that is 6 power, 7 towards a gem. So I could get a Diamond Cluster and a Citrus Pearl if I really wanted to. But let's just go with the 6 for Wildfire Whip. This also generates a charge for Adelheim. And lets them both reveal and discard if they choose, and they both will. Oh. Probably should have. Whatever, it's fine. And Jan gets to go again. Cast Spark twice. She's going to do 2 damage to the Banesire, leaving him with 4 life. Alright, she is then going to prep Spark and a Feral Lightning, and then use Flexing Dagger to open a breach. She's actually going to prep the Spark to that newly opened breach. And this now generates 3 power. She's going to use it to just purchase a charge, and then I'm going to discard all 4 of these charge tokens, 2 from each. And that is going to discard the Blood Cry power. Eliminate that from the board. And then each player can draw or reveal and discard if they choose to. He's not going to. Okay. So our next turn, Clouded Sapphire, 2 Amplified Visions, Flexing Dagger, and a Crystal. And Adelheim's going next. He's going to cast Spark, dealing 1 damage to the Banesire, bringing him down to 3 life. He's going to use Flexing Dagger to open his 3rd breach, and can generate 4 power, and he has another Flexing Dagger. Yeah, okay. So I will use 1 power along with the Flexing Dagger to focus his 4th breach, and then generate 3 to buy Citrus Pearl. He does have a Consuming Void, so he's going to start destroying his cards. So those Citrus Pearls are still pretty useful. His next turn, Consuming Void, 2 Crystals, Citrus Pearl, Clouded Sapphire. And he gets to go again. That's nice. He's going to prep Consuming Void to the 3rd breach. And then he's going to generate, what is that, 5? 7 power. He's going to buy another Consuming Void. And it generates 1 charge for Gian, and they get to reveal 1 card and discard if they choose. He is going to discard that Spark. Or no, he's not, actually. Yeah, so that's good. And his next turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to have 2 crystals, Amethyst Shard, Feral Lightning, and a Spark. But it's Nemesis first. So Banesire unleashes, bring Rageborne 4 Fury tokens. He then pulls Dispel, unleash twice, generates 2 more Fury tokens. The player with the most prep spells discards their most expensive prep spell. So that discards my Consuming Void. And he now has 6 Fury tokens. So he's going to strike 3 times. Convoke, any player suffers 4 damage. Going to do that on Jan. She now has 4 life. Bring him to 5 Fury tokens. Devastate. Gravehold suffers 5 damage. Bring Gravehold to 5 life. If I pull this card again, that's game over. Bring him to 4 Fury tokens. Holy crap. Convoke. Any player suffers 4 damage. Bring Adelheim to 3. Not looking good. So Rageborne still has 68 life. I did 2 damage to him in the first round. And he goes again. Unleash up to 4 Fury tokens. Invoke Carnage to discard, spend 7 power. Power 2, unleash. Any player suffers 1 damage. The player suffers 1 additional damage for every Fury token that the Rageborne has. And then he has 4 Fury tokens, so... Right. Gravehold suffers 3 damage, bringing it down to 2 life. Any player suffers 1 damage, bringing Jan down to 1. Holy crap. I don't think I'm winning this one, guys. This might take a few tries. I like the spell store. I didn't really like my turns. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I did a great job with either how just everything shook out with the store and everything. And the store is great, and I don't know. I screwed it up somehow. Maybe it was just a bad combination with their starting decks. It makes such a big difference. It really does. All right, we're going to start with Adelheim. He's going to prep Feral Lightning, Spark, and then he can generate 3 power. He's going to buy the last Sifter's Pearl. So they're just starting to get going. 2 Flexing Daggers, Spark, Crystal, Sifter's Pearl. Nemesis. So power gets removed from there. He's going to unleash, generating Fury token. And we pull out a new minion, Venomite. 9 life. Player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage. Or any player discards a prep spell that costs 4 or more. That's enough. In the world that was, there were many creatures that used poison as a means of survival, but these things are Alright, and then Adelheim's going to go next. He's going to cast the Feral Lightning to destroy the Banesire. So that's a relief. He's going to use Spark to do 2 damage to the Venomite. He's going to prep Spark. Use Flexing Dagger twice to focus the 4th breach once. He then generates. Focus open a breach's turn costs 3 less, so use that twice with the crystal to just open the 4th breach. That's what we're going to do. And the Sifter's Pearl generates 2 power, and she's going to use for a charge. And then I'll also each pick one and discard, and he's going to discard. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you guys share. Make sure you guys share. All right. Jan's going to go next. She's going to cast Feral Lightning for 3, Spark for 2. It's going to be 5 damage. for the Venomite. She's then going to prep 2 Amplify Visions. And let's see. She can generate 4 power. And the Flexing Dagger will just get wasted, I guess. She'll use it. I don't want to destroy it yet. Oh no, I do. I will destroy it to do 1 damage to the Venomite. And then generate 4 power by an Amplify Vision. And that also generates a charge for Adelheim. Next turn, 2 diamonds, Wildfire Whip, Spark Crystal. But Nemesis is going to go first. Oh, shit. Okay, good. Good. Okay. Wait. No, I didn't do that right. I didn't generate the 7 power I needed. Damn. I don't think I can use the cards in my hand to generate the power to discard that. I think I have to do it ahead of time. So anyway, Venomite's gonna... No, that does activate first. Power 2, Unleash. Any player suffers 1 damage. That's player suffers 1 additional damage for each Fury token Rageborne has. I think he's supposed to have 3, but it's still 4. It doesn't matter. It exhausts Gian. So that closes her breach, destroys her first breach. What else did that do? I'll read the book from here. Okay, when a player's life is reduced to 0, that player is exhausted. Resolve the effects in any order. Oh, there also is an unleash, so he goes back up to 4. Nemesis unleashes twice, so 2 more Fury tokens. The exhausted player destroys 1 of their breaches. Discarded player loses all their charge tokens. And any damage dealt to Gian does double damage to Gravehold. Okay, so I'm definitely losing this game. Okay. So that was just the ability. Then the Venomite activates. Dealing 2 damage to Adelheim. And then draws a card. Another minion, Scorn, 9 life. Persistent Gravehold suffers 3 damage or Unleash twice. So I am so far behind in the economy in this game. Plus, the next hit is literally any damage will lose me the game at this point. Oh yeah, and now he's gonna strike 3 times. So the player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage. That's gonna kill Adelheim. I lose the game. So dun dun dun. All right, that was pretty bad. I got my absolute ass handed to me. I mean, so in addition to that 2 damage, I would have taken another 3 damage from Breach, and then another 5 damage for Gravehold. So even if that hadn't killed me, this still would have done another 11 damage to Gravehold on that turn, on that activation. So not good. Not good. I got my butt handed to me. Lessons learned. I'm not sure. Honestly, every time I get the Banesire really early like that, I usually lose. I usually lose badly when that happens. Just there's just not enough firepower. Because typically, like, Adelheim only has 2 sparks out of his first 10 cards. Jan has 4. But since I had already used 2, I wasn't able to get rid of them until the end of the second round. And since he was the first card drawn, that let him activate 3 times. Or his Unleash ability 3 times. And there's just not a lot, you know. I took, Grateful took, 11 damage in the first round of the game. So, I don't know. I'm not saying it's all luck. I could have gotten... I really should push for spells, I think, is... What I'm realizing more is the key of the game is... You really only buy crystals when... Or gems. Gems or relics when there are no more spells. Is kind of what I'm starting to figure out. Spells. That's what the game's all about. The only thing you want to be right up to the amount of breaches you have. So if you have 3 open breaches, you want to be drawing 3 spells every turn. That's what I'm starting to think. Yeah, that was rough. If you watch this, good for you, man. I hope you learned something. Hope you had fun watching me suffer. I'm sorry the production of that was so poor. It just took me a while to get my dogs to behave and all the rest. I am going to try again. I'm going to keep going until I beat this guy with randomizers. That's how I do it. So, we'll see. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.